Hey everyone, it's Kong again, and here's another episode of Should You Summon. As always, I'll be presenting high-level overviews using these 4 criteria to help you decide whether this banner is worth your hard-earned vouchers and crystals. How these 2 characters fit into your team, whether they unlock any bonds, and what kind of content they get used for, as well as their future availability or lack thereof. So this week we're going to be looking at a rate-up banner featuring Rozalia and Elwin, running from January 21st to February 3rd, and it's not a Destiny banner, which means it's definitely possible to summon off-banner heroes, even on the very first SSR you pull. You have a 40% chance to summon each hero, and a 20% chance to summon any random off-banner in the general pool. So first up, we'll take a look at Rozalia in her first banner appearance since her launch. And she's a highly mobile DPS who gets a boost to her attack and defense when she's at high hit points. She can build up to 3 stacks of bonus damage and damage reduction fairly easily, and she has a nice spread of mobile soldiers, who get a 40% attack boost through her bonds. Her 3-cost skill is a single target attack that has a friendly beacon side effect. When you attack someone with this skill, it plants a sword on that tile, and the sword radiates stat boosts and healing to nearby allies, and lets Rozalia move again. She actually has a lot of skills that let her move again before attacking, and that gives her great range right out of the gate. She's a member of Legion of Glory, buffed by Ledin, Elwin, and Grenier, Langrisser Reincarnation, buffed by Ares and the upcoming character Hilda, and Princess Alliance, buffed by Luna and Shelfaniel. For bonds, she unlocks the attack bond for the upcoming new character Mariel, and the defensive bond for the other upcoming new character Werner. For her own bonds, she needs Maya for her defensive bond and Ares for her attack bond. For content, she's on faction for Leviar and Scylla in the Eternal Temple, and her stat beacons could be helpful to the rest of your team in those fights. Just bear in mind that it's a command aura, so it won't stack with other similar auras. She's also on faction for Hugin and Munin, and I could see her being useful in the fight against Needhog as well, although Lanford is a common choice for Needhog, so don't try to bring both of them there. She should also be useful against the Fire Dragon, and the Dark Dragon, and maybe the Ice Dragon. For PvP, she's the mobile cavalry-like attacker that the Glory faction has been waiting for, at least until her banner mate gets his SP cavalry class. Now, she can charge into danger, do big DPS, and then try to run away. Thanks to Legion of Glory rising up in the PvP meta this season, she could fit in well if you're trying to fill your box with people that Elwin and Ledin can buff up. For availability, we don't know when she's coming back. She's not on the predicted schedule based on the Chinese banner release dates, so we do know that she won't be coming back anytime before mid-July at the earliest. Okay, so speaking of this guy, let's move on to Elwin. Elwin is a self-sustaining DPS unit. His talent boosts his damage dealt, and also heals him by 30% of his damage dealt, but this heal only triggers 100% of the time at 6 star, so he definitely wants some investment. His unique equipment is a sword that has a built-in clock-like effect, giving him a chance of resetting some of his big damage attacks cooldowns, and this will actually come into play for his SP class. Speaking of which, Elwin has the honor of getting a brand new SP class this week, giving him access to completely different talent, new skills, and new troops. His SP talent has a lot of moving parts. When he attacks, he gets a damage and defense boost. If there are no allies within 2 spaces, he gets a once per battle revive. He restores hit points before combat based on how many tiles he moved, and if he moves 4 or more tiles, he attacks before his opponent gets a chance to attack. He's a member of Legion of Glory, buffed by Ledin, Elwin, and Grenier, Empire's Honor, buffed by Bernhardt, Leon, Lance, and Rosenseal, and Protagonists, buffed by Matthew. So he also carries one of the faction buffs for Legion of Glory, boosting damage dealt by 15% if you have more than 80% hit points. For someone like him, and a character like Yulia who also has some good self-healing, this should be a fairly easy requirement to meet. Okay, for bonds, he unlocks the attack bonds for Lana, Ledin, Leon, Leanna, and the defensive bond for Hein. And for his own bonds, he needs Hein for his defensive bond and Leanna for his attack bond. For content, Like Rozalia, he has great PvE factions. He's on faction for Phoenix, Scylla, and Valkyrie in the Eternal Temple, and he's quite useful for all three of those. In Ancient Beckoning, he's on faction for Sleipnir and Hugin and Munin. He does shine against the Thunder Dragon because of his ability to clear buffs with Roar and Sword Soul, and also heal himself indefinitely. In PvP, he fell out of favor for a season or two, but his new SP class has launched him right back into the meta, dragging Legion of Glory co-stars like Ledin, Yulia, and Elucia along with him. Mobility was Elwin's main problem, but now he can charge into the fray using Glorious Charge, healing up, attacking first, ensuring 100% activation of his weapon effect, effectively giving him 2 deadly Sword Souls, and being primed to revive if he gets one-shot. SP Elwin is also the main reason we're seeing all these Lancer Landiuses wearing Blood Pacts, so his appearance in the meta is causing a little ripple effect that changes the way other characters play. We'll probably see a few more Infantry Yulias as well, for example. For availability, if you don't want to summon here, or if you don't have the scratch, you won't have to wait too long to get another chance. Elwin's coming back on his classic recurring Destiny banner alongside Bernhardt and Leon in late April. If you already have Leon and Bern, then he'll even be guaranteed. Just remember though, Elwin's special SP upgrade material is more rare than Elwin himself. The only way to get it is through one of these special SP lottos, so even if you're planning to get Elwin in the distant future, like if you're not in a big rush to get him now, you're still going to want to make sure you get that Crystal Heart while you can. Okay, so here's the quick and dirty. We have Rozalia, who's a highly mobile DPS with versatile skill selection. She plants Omni-Stat command auras around the map, and she unlocks the attack bond for Muriel and the defensive bond for Werner. Then we have Elwin, who's a self-sustaining DPS with a powerful new SP class. He has a faction buff for Legion of Glory, and he unlocks the defensive bond for Hein and the attack bonds for Lana, Ledin, Leon, and Lyanna. Finally, just the usual reminder about upcoming banners to be aware of. The next 2 banners coming down the pipes are Destiny banners featuring existing characters. First we have Listel, Omega, and Renata, and then there's a frequently recurring banner featuring Rachel, Tiaras, and Lana. The next new characters coming in February are Muriel and Tiny Jessica from Langrisser Reincarnation Tensei. They're both strong meta PvP characters with some PvE potential as well, and they're Legion of Glory, so keep some tickets on standby if that sounds enticing to you. Hilda is of course coming the month after that, so we're not really getting any time to rest and recharge anytime soon. I'm actually pretty excited about that little Tiny Jessica character because I don't really have any built long-distance, long-range characters. I do have young Jessica, but I haven't built her up. I haven't summoned Nomi, and I guess the closest thing I have is a 4-star Rachel with the Scepter of Divinity, which is not really close. So I'm hoping to be able to summon the new Jessica, and I'll build her up if I get her. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you're summoning for one of these 2, or if you're still going hard for Rosenseal or Clotaire, or if you're just going to be saving up for a while. Thanks so much for watching as always, and I'll catch you in the next Should You Summon.